Hi friend, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a different type of video to share with you today. I'm going to share a wedding recap. I just got married. Brian and I got married March 1st, 2025. This was 2 years in the making. Wedding planning, choosing our venue, finding the right caterers and also vendors. It has been quite a journey, and our wedding day was so magical, absolutely perfect, and I wanted to go over a quick wedding recap and also answer some questions that I took from my Instagram. A couple of days prior to Saturday when we got married, I actually rented my wedding flowers, and I collaborated and partnered with the brand Something Borrowed Blooms. All you have to do is order them a couple of weeks or months ahead of time. They arrive at your house a couple of days prior to your event. Honestly, I think my wedding flowers came like a week before. So I was very happy. I was a little nervous. I'm renting them. I don't want them to show up after the fact. So they came with a great amount of time in advance. And then my sister and I, we got some bins from Walmart, and then we organized where all of the flowers were going to go for the ceremony. Then for the reception, we ended up repurposing flowers for the ceremony upstairs in the reception room, for the coffee cart that I had, and also on my wedding signage. Renting my wedding flowers was honestly one of the best decisions I made. I saved a ton of money, and the wedding pictures already look gorgeous, capturing the flowers. Everyone thought they were real, which was also a huge plus, and they smelled amazing. I chose to get my wedding flowers scented. My whole house smelled amazing the week before the wedding, and also the smell kind of lingers now, which is just really special and a great thing to remind me of our wedding day. If you are interested in possibly renting your flowers with Something Borrowed Blooms, be sure to leave a comment down below and I can reach out to you and send you a discount code that I have. We also decided to do some welcome bags prior to the wedding. I'm here in Florida, and we had 2 hurricanes come through in September and October. So I was definitely a little worried about how the hurricanes were going to affect our wedding venue, the wedding weekend, and the hotel. So we had a hotel block set up for guests coming from out of town. A lot of our friends and family live far away, and I wanted to make sure I had like a central place for all of them to hang out and take transportation over to the venue with an easy option. The original hotel was still not ready by the time my wedding was happening, so I was freaking out a little, but thankfully there was a sister hotel that works with the original hotel we were going to have people stay at. So everyone was able to go to a different hotel. It was on the beach. It was perfect and ended up being okay. So what we did, Brian and I, we went over to the hotel and we dropped off some welcome bags. I really wanted to welcome people with some super cute personalized touches, some little, Advil packs, some water bottles. So I got a lot of great custom things from Etsy. I used Etsy and Amazon so much for little details here and there, and Canva as well. So I'll show you what our welcome bags ended up looking like. And I was really pleased and happy to pass these out to our guests when we saw them at the hotel. Sister also booked an Airbnb for me and my girls to get ready at, as well as our moms for the day of the wedding. So I packed a bag the night before, said my goodbyes, and went over to the Airbnb. I'm really glad we booked this space to have tons of room to get ready. 7 women in one tiny room at the venue was not going to work. It was also just like a dark room. I wanted something light and airy for my photographer to capture us getting ready. So this Airbnb that was close to the venue, definitely something that I highly recommend if you plan on getting ready with multiple people. It's not just you and your mom and a sister. It's like 4 or 5 plus people. Figure out how you can go to a cute house, Airbnb, or a hotel and do your getting ready there. We also had plenty of space for the hair and makeup team to get us all glam. So that was a really great way to spend the morning with my girls. We got coffees, we had Chick-fil-A breakfast. So that was really special before all of the main events started to happen later in the afternoon. It was really important for Brian and I to see each other before I walked down the aisle. I think that was just a good plan for nerves, for anxiety, and we just had a really beautiful time seeing each other. I mean, I was so excited to show him my dress. This was like a big secret that I was keeping, like what I was wearing, my hair and makeup, and these were just really special moments that my photographer, Sarah, captured, and I'm really glad we did a first look. Walking down the aisle was so nerve-wracking. I think it was, nerve-wracking for him and for myself. I ended up walking with my dad and my mom and my flowers. So that was a little bit of a thing at first. I was like, okay, what do I do? Where do I hold the flowers? There was a lot going on. Our ceremony was also very short and sweet. We had Brian's uncle, who was super special to us, do our ceremony and the vows. And everyone said, okay, that was the shortest ceremony ever. He kept it short and sweet, to the point, and I think that was also very comforting for our nerves. Going into cocktail hour, I was so excited to see a coffee cart. This is a local business. It's called Bean Wandering, and I'm in the St. Pete, Tampa area. I had this coffee cart planned pretty much from the start of the wedding. Brian and I are not big drinkers, and I wanted to get something for myself, honestly. I mean, I'm planning this big event, and I'm not going to enjoy, the bar, so let me figure out what I can enjoy, and that is coffee. This coffee cart was adorable. It was all set up with signage, and it was kind of tucked away in the garden during cocktail hour, and all of our guests were coming up to me saying, the coffee cart, great idea, I love this. They were, drinking different options. I had a matcha drink, and it was so fun. I think that was definitely one of my favorite parts of the whole wedding, was the coffee cart. Going into the reception was also pretty stressful. We had a grand entrance, but honestly, once we walked in with our music, saw all of our friends and family, I think the stress finally melted off of me. I could finally dance and eat and enjoy all of the things that I planned for 2 years, and it was just a magical time. Our DJ played music that Brian put from his own personal Spotify playlist, so I definitely recommend, if you want your songs to be played, come up with your own Spotify playlist, send it to your DJ well in advance, have a phone call, talk about it, talk about your must-played songs, talk about songs you're like, on the fence about. So we had our DJ, he performed live during cocktail hour, which was also great. He was strumming on the guitar, has a beautiful voice, so that was really fun during cocktail hour. And then for the reception, it was all just DJ songs. And Brian and I aren't even really big dancers, but I promise you, we stayed on that dance floor for a lot longer than I ever thought I would. And I think that was also just a really fun time for us to mingle with the guests, see them on the dance floor, dance, hang out. Now I'm going to dive into some questions that I wanted to answer from Instagram about the wedding. So what was worth the money? I think the coffee cart that I booked and worked with the coffee cart company, that was definitely worth the money. The wedding signage that I had customized and personalized. I had a wedding welcome box at the front of the ceremony lawn with flowers, and that was beautiful. And then I also did a custom seating chart, and that turned out spectacular. Those really impressed me. They went above and beyond the vendors to make everything look beautiful and just have my vision come to life. I also want to say a content creator team doing photos and videos. I am a content creator, so I wanted to make sure I had those things to post, for reels and to post for the brands that I worked with. But having that for yourself just like instantly sent over to me was amazing. The next day, my content creator team from Moy Social, they sent me everything I wanted to see, just like sneak peeks, and that was very cool. So having a content creator team was great for that. They also recorded the entire ceremony. So where we skipped was on, the videographer. That was going to be a couple of $1,000s on just one, beautiful video. But instead of that, I hired the content team, and then also a day of coordinator. I knew that she was going to be important, but I honestly didn't think how valuable she was going to be. She helps with the pre-wedding everything, talking to my vendors, making sure they were paid on time and they were good to go for the wedding weekend. She put together my wedding flowers. She was able to, set everything up for me, so I was just completely stress-free, not worried about that at all. How I chose my wedding dress, this was a journey in itself. I knew I wanted to have something that was modest. A lot of the wedding dresses right now have like the exposed like corset. That's just not me. I knew I wanted to be covered up, and I love a good A-line dress. Wanted some glitz and glam, but wanted to feel like an elegant princess, and I think I nailed it at David's bridal. Also like that the sleeves were removable. So I wore the sleeves for the ceremony, and then I ripped them off for the reception because I was like, I'm dancing, no more sleeves, like we're good. So another question about taking time between the wedding and our honeymoon. So we chose not to go right into our honeymoon after the wedding, and I'm so glad we did. We are going to go on our honeymoon in a couple of weeks. We have time to just relax. I mean, it's a lot. We did not have, a standard wedding planner. It was myself, Brian, my sister, and our families contributing and planning the entire thing. We definitely needed a break. That was a lot of stress, just moving parts, elements that we needed to make sure we're taken care of before the day came. So now we have time to relax as newlyweds. Here is some advice I would give to future brides, especially if you're getting married within the next year or so. I would say do not rush into things. Give yourself plenty of time. I think having 2 years to plan gave us plenty of time to save money, budget accordingly, make sure that we knew what was going on at all times. And I also would recommend using the website Zola or The Knot as a place where you can update things for your relatives, friends, and family. We did have, a change of hotel block, so I had to alert everyone using the wedding website. That was really helpful. Zola is also what I use for invitations, for our menus, for save the dates, everything. I used Zola, and we printed out their to-do list. So every month we had a checklist of things that we needed to get done for that month, and it had like 15 pages, and it was crazy coming down to the wire. That stack of 15 pages was down to 1 page left this previous week. So that was definitely helpful to keep us navigating what needed to be done and during what time frame. I also would recommend choosing your top 3 priorities and budgeting accordingly. Where do you want to spend the most money? And then kind of dial back when it comes to other things. Maybe consider doing DIYs, looking on Facebook Marketplace to order some decor from. I definitely prioritized my photographer. I prioritized the food. We, went with a middle ground when it came to catering. We didn't do like the super top of the line, but we also, didn't have someone who isn't experienced doing catering at our location. So the food, photography, and then the venue itself. Those were my 3 like top priorities that I wanted to make sure I spent the most money towards. Halfway through, we definitely thought, why are we doing this? We should have just eloped. This is so much money. This is just one day. But now I understand that even though it is just one day, it's one weekend, Ryan and I will be reflecting on for years to come. We will be thinking about seeing our friends and family in one place at the hotel before the wedding, during the wedding, hanging out, dancing and eating. And it was all worth it in the end. And I'm really excited to share more content and photos, videos from the day here on YouTube and over on Instagram. I'll also have all of my wedding vendors listed and linked down below if you are in the St. Pete, Tampa area. They made my day seamless, and I recommend them all, so I'll have them shared down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited that also the wedding is now over with in a way, so I can go back to my regular life. So stay tuned for some more fashion videos. I have a loft haul coming soon. Thank you so much for watching this wedding recap, and I'll see you in my next video.